Hi, my name's Elizabeth Echeverria. Welcome to the Living in Liberty YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about international human trafficking. I have founded a nonprofit in Pittsburgh that helps women transition out of a life of sex trafficking. We operate a safe home. We conduct street outreach where we connect with women actively engaged in street prostitution, and we also operate a resale shop and do awareness and prevention. Today, we are going to talk more about international human trafficking. It is a global epidemic that we should all be concerned about because it is a $150 billion industry with 50 million people impacted worldwide. This is why we should be concerned. It is the second largest illegal market in the world behind drugs. And one reason why human trafficking is such a profitable business or market is because you can purchase a person and keep on reselling them over and over and over again. Where when you buy drugs, you sell the drugs, you have to go get more drugs to sell them again. In sex trafficking, you can keep on selling that same person for sex, or same thing with labor. You can keep on selling that person over and over again. There are kind of four categories that how humans are exploited in human trafficking and international human trafficking worldwide. The biggest component is forced labor, where there are almost 27.6 million individuals who are trafficked for labor trafficking. And labor trafficking, forced labor, looks, it can be someone, cleaning in your home. So domestic servitude or debt bondage, where I help you travel to another country to help you get established, but you have to pay off that debt. So you have to work for me for a certain amount of time. And often it's not equal to what they paid to help them get to that new destination. It's very common in certain industries, such as manufacturing, construction, catering, the restaurant industry, domestic work are often industries or ways that forced labor looks. Another category, big category, is commercial sexual exploitation or sex trafficking. Prostitution, pornography are the categories that would encompass this. Selling someone for sex is what sex trafficking looks like. Another category, and one that we might not think of, is forced marriage. Forced marriage isn't as prominent here in the U.S. You don't hear of it, but it's not unusual in other countries where that's part of the expectation, the culture. And so human trafficking occurs there. And trafficking for other purposes. So the two categories that this fall into are, removal of organs or organ trafficking. When someone needs an organ to stay alive, this has created a black market for it. And any way people can make money, they will make money, and if they can make a significant amount of money, if it's profitable for them, they will figure out a way to supply what is needed. So supplying organs to those that need organs to stay alive has created a pretty lucrative business. Another is illegal adoption. Parents who want to have kids, who can have kids, creates a black market for adoption as well. Often, or it's not necessarily that the person who is finally adopting the child knows that this child is been taken illegally. They think on their end that everything is legal and kosher. In fact, that's why many countries have stopped adoptions abroad, because this was occurring. So these are ways that trafficking occurs around the world. As I said before, it's 50 million people impacted worldwide. Almost 28 million are forced labor, so that's a majority of trafficking. 22 million for forced marriage, so that's a significant number, and a majority of these for forced marriage are women or girls. I'd have to say girls, and 3/4 of those are under the age of 15. So these are children that are being trafficked for marriage purposes. Now, in different countries, they have different legal ages for marriage. So to say that it is illegal in another country is not necessarily true. But these are ways that trafficking occurs around the world, and we need to be aware of. This is an important issue. International human trafficking is something that we should all be aware of. Now, today I wanted to share a little bit about my experience, of my understanding. I had the opportunity to travel to Belgium and see trafficking firsthand in Belgium, and work with an organization called Breaking Chains that's doing great work over there. But I was just shocked and appalled at the way trafficking looks in Belgium. And that's partly because I'm conditioned to the way that trafficking occurs here in the US, and it looks very different in Belgium. Trafficking, or not trafficking, but selling yourself is legal in Belgium. And so they have what's called the red light district. Think about Main Street in small town America, where you walk down the street and you have shop windows that you look in at the different merchandise. Well, in Belgium, they have what's called the red light district. It's marked with a red light at the end of the street, and it's kind of, you have to intentionally go down this street, but you intentionally go down the street, and there are shop windows, just like on Main Street America, that you look in, and there are women standing there, or a woman who is selling herself, and just like you would in shop windows on Main Street. I mean, to me, this was shocking, but this is normal in Belgium. This is a part of their culture. They have legalized it. They believe that they're empowering these women to sell themselves. Now, what I learned from the organization that I was working with there is that it is still not unusual for them to have a trafficker. A trafficker provides them some protection and some security. Women, when in these situations, are very vulnerable, and so having someone, provide some protections and security is a good thing. But what happens is they end up being exploited then again. So these traffickers are still very present. And also in Belgium, what you find is there are lots of women from other countries. So even within the red light district, it's, certain sections are for the Latina or Hispanic women. One section is for the African women. One section is for women from India. One section is for women from Eastern Europe. One women is from women from the Caribbean. And so they're just being objectified, commodified. The men come in and they shop the window and shop, what ethnicity or country they are looking for. So it's, window shopping, just like you'd window shop down Main Street. And I just found this very shocking. and it puts these women in very compromising, exploitable situations, not empowering like, they create the perception that it is. And so and contrast this with the country India, where they're economically, there are a lot of people that live in very economically disadvantaged situations. And it's not unusual for poorer families with lots of children to, sell one of their children. They can't afford to feed all the family members, so they sell one child, either knowingly or unknowingly. Maybe they think the child's going to a good opportunity, job, and schooling, is what they're told, and that's not the situation that happens when they arrived. Or sometimes knowingly they sell their children just because, I can't feed my other 4 children. If I sell this one child, well, at least I'll be helping the other 4 children. But it's because of the economic situation that they're put in that leads them to do this. So what I'd like you to take away from today is that it looks different in each country, based on laws, based on economic situation, based on culture and what's acceptable. Human trafficking internationally looks different in each country. And so what we are going to be doing here on the Living in Liberty YouTube channel is having visitors or guests to interview from different countries that we'll be talking with over the next year about what it looks like in each country, so that you can get a better understanding. Thailand is totally different. It's a sex tourism destination. So, and Americans are known to be the biggest purchasers of sex tourism. So people travel over there to, have a sex vacation. So it looks different in Thailand than it does in India, than it does in Belgium. So just know that each country looks different, just as it looks different here in the U.S. So thank you for taking the time to spend with me today and with Living in Liberty YouTube channel. If you could like and subscribe, that would be wonderful. If you're interested in requesting a speaker from Living in Liberty, go to livinginliberty.org and hit the speaker request, fill out the form, and our speaker awareness and prevention lead will be in touch with you. We like to speak to anybody within the Pittsburgh area, or can do online presentations to those outside of the Pittsburgh area. Hope you have a great day.